India has won the test match in Chennai by 317 runs. The Indian spinners finished the match on the fourth day shortly after lunch. In fact, it was Axar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav. The duo ran through the last four Englishmen who were standing there. In fact, who was providing some resistance. Moeen Ali came in the end and hit some lusty blows. In fact, he registered a score of 43 before it was all over for England. Well, I'm joined at this hour by sports commentator Charu Sharma. Charu, could you please welcome to the show? Good afternoon to you. Could you please put the win in perspective for us?
Well, let's not be churlish about anything at all. I think it's a fabulous comeback once again by India. A little more significant because we're at home. So there's so much more visibility. There's so much more potential criticism, especially after we lost the first test in Chennai. So it's a magnificent comeback. The world may not see it in similar light because of the conditions of the pitch, but it's a very, very easy answer there, Rika, because the Indians batted on the same pitch extremely well. So there's a lesson in there not to blame the pitch too much, and if it's even for both the teams, then one team has proved that it's much more superior under such conditions than England. Full credit, I suppose, not only to Rohit, who was under a lot of pressure. And, of course, particularly Ashwin, who's well on his way to creating the world record.
Charu, all 10 of the English wickets in the second innings fell to spin. Of course, as you mentioned, the Chennai pitch is under the scanner. Ajinkya Rahane had said it would turn from day one. Would you say now everything depends on match referee Javagal Srinath's report? Because there is quite a bit of chatter that India might lose points.
I'm not so sure because, if India had also batted badly, Rika, if they hadn't scored all those runs in the first innings and neither had Ashwin scored a century in the second, Virat Kohli a fabulous 60, then yes, the world has a right to say, well, on this pitch, how does one score runs? It's a very unequal battle. But because India did score runs, and pretty handsomely so, I think the world needs to, and including the match referee, needs to take that into consideration and say, one team batted very well despite the conditions. The other team could not face the conditions because that was obviously not what they're used to. It's a bit like going to, I think this has been used before, but I'll say it again. It's a bit like going to New Zealand and facing, and playing a test match there in Wellington with that kind of wind and that kind of green on the pitch. It's very difficult for visiting teams, but the home team will enjoy those conditions. So it's similar here. And I don't think we should have any kind of standardization of pitches. You can argue that if both teams batted badly, then yes, there's a case to say that such pitches should not be test match pitches, but that's not the case here. So I don't think even the match referee, who may be accused of bias, or anybody else in the world, should be accused of or should make accusations about preparing such a pitch, because one team did handle it well. Simple.
Let me also go over to former Indian cricketer Ashok Malhotra at this hour. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Well, Rohit Sharma scoring a mammoth 161. Ravi Ashwin taking 8 wickets in the match. In fact, also scoring that brilliant 100. Between the two of them, would you say Ravi Ashwin still is miles ahead in terms of performance and hence should get the man of the match?
Definitely. The way he has bowled, the way he has batted magnificently in the second inning. Everybody is finding it difficult to bat on that pitch, but he made batting look very, very easy. Ashwin bowling, we all know what he can do. He has been very, awesome in Indian conditions. We know that he has been probably the best match winner after Kumble. Definitely, bowling he does the trick, and the wicket was tailor-made for spinners, and toss was very, very vital, Rika. Whosoever wins the toss had a chance of winning the game. Toss proved to be very, very vital. Wicket tend to play good for a day and a half, and then it was going to break. Everybody knew about it. And luckily, India won the toss, and a great knock by Rohit and Ajinkya Rahane, if I may say. And 329 was a very, very big total. But the way we consolidated, the way we bowled, the way we batted, so people saying that it is not a wicket for good test cricket, I beg to differ, because when we go abroad, we get green top wickets, so definitely if you are a great player, then you should know how to handle these kind of situations as well.
Well, the news at this hour is that India has won the test match by 317 runs and squared the series. Charu, I'll come back to you on that question of toss deciding the fate of the test match. Would you say that's fair? Because even in the first test match, we saw England won the toss and they won the match as well. And so it happened in this test match as well.
Well, that's a fair assessment. But let's not forget that, it's all about battling conditions and battling fortune, as it were. So if you are a truly high-caliber test team, these things happen. And you have to realize that if you lost the toss, can you possibly save the match? Can you do something special? It's called a test match for a reason, Rika, because you've got to test all your abilities, all-round abilities. Do you have the spin to utilize the wicket? Do you have good batsmen who can change the way they bat and according to the conditions? So, yes, the toss has played a very, very important role in both the test matches at Chennai. I hope it doesn't happen in Ahmedabad. But, the home team prepared that pitch not knowing whether they're going to win the toss. So it's not that, the toss it's a 50-50 situation. And it's not ideal to have a situation where you win the toss and are almost guaranteed to win. But I do think it calls for a special ability to counter that. And unfortunately, in this match, England could not summon up that ability.
Right. Gentlemen, do stay on with me. At this moment, I'll go over to my colleague Sam Daniel in Chennai, who's there with some Indian fans who's been able to witness this win. Of course, this was the first time when fans were allowed inside the stadium post-COVID. Sam?
India has won the match.
Thank you, Rika. That's right. I have with me a few excited fans, and they were all disappointed earlier after their first match. For two reasons, they could not watch it inside the gallery, but now I'm sure all of them feel it was worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Actually, it was my first time which I was coming to the stadium. I thought there are 7 wickets remaining, so I got the ticket to see that. But last wicket I have seen, and it's worth it. Full day is worth it. India, India, come on! India!
There's a young dad here come. How was it for you? What was the experience like?
I'm here to watch Ravichandran innings only. Now Ashwin came well, spin well. India win.
Okay, and you?
This is the first time I'm watching in real. This is a very good experience.
Okay. And little children here, what was your experience?
My experience was great.
Okay. And two Chennai boys, Ashwin and Washington Sundar, how did they play?
They played great.
Ashwin.
Okay.
Ashwin, yes. Ashwin Sundar.
Okay.
To play.
Anything on the pitch?
India is meant for comebacks, India is always meant for comebacks. You have seen that in Australia. We have again seen it in Chennai now. And it has been more than a year since we have seen this crowd, and it was amazing experience. That too, about the knowledgeable Chennai crowd. They have always been amazing. Even though England bats well, we still cheer. That's how the Chennai crowd is. And the local boy, Ashwin, for those who said that the Indian pitch, criticized about Indian pitchers, he has given it back nicely. Saying, he has taught them how a classy batsman would look like. Right. The best inning so far from Ashwin is this match.
Come this side, yeah.
We are the 12th man of India. For us, India won. We are the 12th man of India. 11 players and we cheered all of them for 4 days. And now we got the success. India!
Pitch is very well for the spinners, so that Ashwin, Axar and Kuldeep had got more wickets today. Ashwin is the key bowler today, and Axar has also picked two or three wickets.
See, actually, I come all the way from Bangalore to see this match only. So, but we are very happy that India has won the match, and the only disappointing is that it was finished very early. That's the only disappointment. In the meantime, we went for lunch. The match was finished.
Anyone rooting for the English team?
What?
Anyone rooting for the English team?
No.
They have done very good performance. They have also done very good performance.
But the comeback from India is the best. India is only known for their comeback. Even in Australia, they are also come back.
India have always known for their comeback, and in Australia also they made a good comeback and won the series. And hopefully, India will win this series also.
Is it like Diwali for you? Early Diwali for you?
Yeah, it's the kind of Diwali celebration in Chennai.